We're learning more about the events leading up to the slaying of American journalist James Foley. Foley was executed at the hands of the Islamic State. For the first time, U.S. military leaders are talking about the failed rescue mission this summer to try to bring Foley back home. And now we're seeing the U.S. planning for a long-term battle against the Sunni militants. CCTV's Jessica Stone is here with details. And Jessica, what do we know now? What's new?
Well, a couple of things, Mike. We know for a fact that we now have confirmation that U.S. troops have actually been on the ground in Syria, and we also know they wouldn't have been there in the first place.
In the midst of the for the first time Thursday, U.S. defense officials discussed the raid revealed by the White House the night before.
This operation, by the way, was a flawless operation, but the hostages were not there. So we'll do everything that we need to do.
Everything except pay a ransom. It's U.S. policy not to negotiate with terrorists. The U.S. State and Islamic State militants have raised millions through hostage-taking. This week, Foley's former employer, Philip Balboni of the Global Post, said a ransom demand had been made for $132 million, which was substantially more than was paid by some European governments for European journalists. Foley's ransom was never paid.
We asked them to give us time to find another means. Sadly, they showed no mercy to Jim.
Meanwhile, U.S. military aircraft launched 6 more airstrikes near the Mosul Dam. Military planners are still contemplating sending additional U.S. troops to Baghdad. And the top U.S. general cautioned that the American people should be prepared for a long-term battle with the Islamic State, but one that would not be waged alone.
ISIS will only truly be defeated when it's rejected by the 20 million disenfranchised Sunni that happen to reside between Damascus and Baghdad.
The Pentagon says the Islamic State represents the most dangerous terror threat to date. Of immediate impact on the U.S. and Europe are the thousands of fighters being recruited by the group.
If they were to achieve that vision, it would fundamentally alter the face of the Middle East and create a security environment that would certainly threaten us in many ways.
But the Pentagon does not see a return to combat in Iraq, Mike. It says the Islamic State will be defeated through regional partnerships between neighbors.
And they're also seeing a similar problem again. This is a kind of a porous border where they can retreat into Syria, which poses another issue, doesn't it?
And it's exactly the same thing we saw in Afghanistan, with the Pakistan border being very porous and fighters going back and forth. And the saying goes, if you don't deal with both sides of the border, you're not going to be able to deal with the threat here. The chairman backing that up today, saying that unless there's a solution for the Syria piece, there isn't a solution, but he did not offer U.S. combat troops to solve that problem.
All right, Jessica Stone, thanks so much.